This is our country. Do you know where you are right now? Really? You're probably in a classroom, at your school, but if you could climb a tall building and look out farther, you'd see your neighborhood, maybe even the whole city. What if you could look down from an airplane? You'd see more. Or from a rocket ship far out in space, you'd see even more. And then you'd see where you really are right now. This is our country, here you see 50 states of liberty. The United States full of people who are citizens just like you. Stop! Do you see what I see?
No.
I see the United States of America.
That's where I live.
Right. The United States of America is our country. A country is a land that is shared by the people who live there. It has its own leaders and its own laws. Sometimes we call the United States of America the United States, or just America for short.
And I'm an American.
That's right. People who live in the United States are called Americans.
But what about all the other land I see?
This whole area of land is called a continent. A continent is another word for a very large area of land. The United States is just one country on the continent of North America. This line is a border. It shows us where our country begins and ends. The countries that are next to the United States are our neighbors. Just like the people who live next door to you are your neighbors, countries can have neighbors too. Our neighbor to the north is the country Canada, and our neighbor to the south is Mexico.
Are the people who live there called Americans?
No, only people who live in the United States are called Americans. Our neighbors in Canada are Canadians, and our neighbors in Mexico are Mexicans. What do you see on both sides of the United States?
Water.
That's right. The United States has two very large bodies of salt water called oceans. The Atlantic Ocean is to the east of our country, and the Pacific Ocean is to the west. Now, if we zoom in a little closer, you'll see that our country is divided into smaller areas called states. Our country's states. There are 50 states in the United States of America. Together, we make up the country we live in. States are different shapes and sizes, and each one has its own name. The line around a state is called a border. On a map, it shows where a state begins and ends, just like the border around our country shows where it begins and ends. On this map, you can see that two of our states are far away from the others. They are Alaska and Hawaii.
Hey, Alaska's next to our neighbor Canada.
And Hawaii is in the middle of the ocean.
Cool!
Every state is special and has its own flag, state bird, state flower, and state tree. Which state do you live in?
I live in Oregon, but I also live in Ashland.
That's not a state.
You're right. Ashland is a community inside the state of Oregon. If we zoom in even further, you can see that inside each state are hundreds of smaller communities. People live, work, and play in a community and in a state. Do you know the capital of your state?
The capital?
Yes, Every state has a special city called a capital. That's where the leaders of a state work. The capital of Oregon is Salem.
Oh,
So can you tell me which is bigger, a community or a state?
a state is bigger.
And which is bigger, a state or our country?
Our country. It's made of 50 states.
Our country's people. People who live in America are different in many ways. We eat different kinds of food. We live in different kinds of homes and in different places. We also wear different kinds of clothes and speak different languages.
또 3월 달에 왔고 영어 공부를 하러 왔습니다.
Тут не надо ставить you have, но have you.
در CRC میخوایم درس بخوانم انگلیسی.
But Americans are also alike in some special ways. We all follow the same laws and rules in our country and have the same freedoms.
Words of the Constitution and the Declaration.
We also work together to make America a country that we are proud of. And we try to be good American citizens.
What are citizens?
Citizens are the people who belong to a country and have the right to live there. Most American citizens were born here. Other people moved to our country to become citizens. Many Americans came from places like Europe, Asia, and Africa long ago. People are still coming to America today. Many become American citizens. Some people from other countries live in America without becoming citizens. They might come here to work or go to school. Our country is patriotic.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible.
This is the Pledge of Allegiance. When we say it, we are promising to be loyal or true to our country. This is just one way Americans show they are patriotic.
What does patriotic mean?
Being patriotic means being proud of your country and showing love for it. It is important for us to feel proud of our country because it makes us want to take care of it. This feeling is like the feeling Jason had when he got a new bike for his birthday. He loves to ride his bike and is very proud of it, so Jason takes very good care of the bike. By keeping it clean, filling the tires with air, and putting it away every night. We take care of our country, just like Jason takes care of his bike. We keep our neighborhoods clean and make others feel welcome. We build nice homes and buildings like libraries and museums. Then we have even more to be proud of.
Are there any other ways we show we are patriotic?
Well, sometimes we wave the American flag. It is one of the most important symbols of the United States of America.
What's a symbol?
Well, look at this heart. What does it make you think of?
Love.
That's right. The heart is a symbol of love. A symbol is a drawing, color, or object that makes you think of something else. Our flag makes us think of the United States of America. Not only is our flag a symbol of the United States, it has symbols on it too. Each star on the flag stands for a state in our country. Each stripe stands for one of the first 13 states that formed our country long ago. The color red stands for courage or being brave. The white stands for being pure. And the blue stands for justice or fairness. So, how many stars do you think there are on the flag?
50.
One for each state.
That's right. Do you know what a motto is?
No.
A motto is words that tell something people believe in. The United States has this motto, "In God we trust." You can see those words on money, like this quarter. Now, Look at the other side of the quarter. What does it say?
E pluribus.
Good try. It says e pluribus unum, the Latin words for out of many, one. It means that out of the many 13 colonies, we became one country. Can you think of another way we show we are proud to be Americans? I'll give you a hint. It's a song we sing.
The Star-Spangled Banner.
That's right. The Star-Spangled Banner is our country's anthem or song. It tells a story of a man who saw our flag flying in the sky during battle. Our country's capital. Remember when we learned that each of the 50 states in our country has its own capital?
Yes, the capital is where the leaders of each state work.
Right. Well, countries also have capitals. The capital of the United States of America is Washington, D.C. It is named after our first president, George Washington.
What does D.C. mean?
It stands for the District of Columbia. That means that Washington, D.C. is not a state. It is a special area of land owned by the United States government.
Government?
Yes, the United States government is the group of people in charge of running our country. They make the laws and see that people follow them. Did you know that Americans choose many of the people in our government by voting?
No.
Can I vote?
Yes, you can vote when you're 18 years old. That is a law written in the Constitution.
What's that?
The Constitution is a plan for our country's government. It has some of the United States' most important laws. The Constitution also tells about the 3 parts of our government called branches. They are the President, Congress, and the Supreme Court. The President leads our country. He chooses people to help him and give him advice. Congress is made of people from communities all over the country. They vote to make the new laws they think our country needs. The Supreme Court is the most powerful court in the United States. A court is where judges work. The judges make sure the laws made by Congress agree with our Constitution. Where do you think the President, Congress, and Supreme Court are?
In our country's capital.
Washington, D.C.
Right. This is the White House, where the President lives and works. And here is the Capitol building, where Congress meets. Washington, D.C. is a city with many places to learn about our country. This is the Lincoln Memorial. It is a statue that honors one of our most important presidents, Abraham Lincoln. This is the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. It honors the American soldiers that died during the Vietnam War. Washington, D.C. also has many different museums. People go to museums to look at and learn interesting things. Our country's special places. The United States has many places that make our country special. We call these places landmarks. This is Redwood National Park in the state of California. It has some of the tallest trees in the world. The Grand Canyon is in Arizona.
What's a canyon?
A canyon is a very, very deep valley. The Mississippi River is one of the longest rivers in the United States. Large boats can travel up and down. The Everglades are swamps or wetland in Florida. Many kinds of plants and animals live there, including alligators. Do you know what these landmarks have in common?
No.
They are all natural landmarks. They were not made by people. They were found the way they are in nature. The United States also has many landmarks that were made by people. The Golden Gate Bridge is in San Francisco, California. It is bright red, like a big gate to the city. The Alamo is in San Antonio, Texas. A big battle took place at the Alamo, where the people of Texas fought to free themselves from Mexico. The Gateway Arch is in St. Louis, Missouri. Many pioneers started their trip west from St. Louis. The arch helps us remember the pioneers. The Statue of Liberty is in New York City. It is a symbol of freedom. It reminds us of all the people who came to America looking for better lives. Mount Rushmore is in South Dakota. It has the faces of 4 of our great presidents carved into the side of it.
Wow, those places do sound special.
Not only does our country have special places, we also celebrate special days. In November, Americans celebrate Thanksgiving. This holiday reminds us of a Thanksgiving feast held long ago by the Pilgrims. When the Pilgrims came to America, they were helped by a Native American tribe called the Wampanoag. At the end of the year, the Pilgrims wanted to give thanks to God. They had a big feast and invited the Wampanoag to thank them for their help. On Thanksgiving Day, most Americans have a feast like the Pilgrims long ago. Another important holiday for Americans is the 4th of July. It reminds us that the Declaration of Independence was signed on July 4th, 1776. That was the day our country became the United States of America. The 4th of July is also called Independence Day. Most Americans celebrate with parades and fireworks. We show that we are proud to be Americans. Our country also celebrates the birthdays of some special Americans. George Washington and Abraham Lincoln were 2 of our most important presidents. We celebrate their birthdays in February. Martin Luther King Jr. was an important man who worked to help all Americans to be treated fairly. We celebrate his birthday in January. Do you know what holiday we celebrate near the first day of school?
Labor Day.
That's right. Labor is another name for work. On Labor Day, we celebrate all the people in our country who work. One other holiday that celebrates Americans is Memorial Day. On that day, we honor soldiers who died fighting for our country. The days that Americans celebrate are important to us. They remind us of our country's past. So, what have we learned?
The United States of America is our country.
And it's made of 50 states. Each state has a capital and many different people.
Our country has a capital, too.
What is it called?
Washington, D.C.
And what's in Washington, D.C.?
Our country's government.
What else have we learned?
We show we are proud of our country by pledging allegiance to the flag.
And singing the national anthem.
Our country has many landmarks.
And we celebrate our country's past.
My, we have learned a lot today.
Yeah, I know we have. Yeah, we have.
This is our country, here you see, 50 states of liberty. The United States full of people who are citizens just like you. From the Everglades to the Redwood Park, see our country's pride in our landmarks. Our flag in colors red, white, and blue waves above as we sing for you. This is our country, here you see 50 states of liberty. The United States full of people who are citizens just like you. Stay tuned for the sing-along. Call 1-800-483-3383 for 100% educational videos, or visit our website at schoolvideos.com.
This is our country, here you see 50 states of liberty. The United States full of people who are citizens just like you. From the Everglades to the Redwood Park, see our country's pride in our landmarks. Flags, our colors, red, white, and blue, wave above as we sing for you. This is our country, here you see 50 states of liberty. The United States full of people who are citizens just like you.